Hi, how is everyone doing? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Here I'm presenting this wonderful presentation, which is called What's with the Name Calling? And now, with this, a lot of people think about certain places when it comes to mind, like Memphis, Tennessee, New York, a lot of places where they hear like the same name, same thing, same places, and different occupations. But a lot of things also play into detail with that, which is their names, what they're called, what they go by, and so forth. So I'm here to present a lot of different areas where people didn't even realize that things always connect, but it's always under the radar. In this case, people. So with people, a lot of people have the same names when it comes to terms just like mythology, Christianity, anything of that nature. Or it can just be that the name is really common just based on geological education or location, is what I meant to say. So, with that, you have names like James, Henry, Richard, Brad. There's a lot of names that you understand is very common, and everybody knows somebody, or at least five. Like for me personally, I know a Nick Oxley, Nick McElrath, Nick Hansen. Nick is a common name that at least anybody in a friend group or just knows a famous Nick. And with that, it also comes into occupations as well. Because when people choose who they want to be in life, sometimes they decide to go from different sources, understanding if this is really what they want. Does it help them? Does it help their community in a way that really helps them as well? But a lot of things also come into play when it comes to their names. Just as think about dentist, for example. What does dentist and dentist have in common? The the spelling. The spelling comes into play when it comes to that. So with that in mind, people are going to be drawn to that. Or William, as in like wisdom tooth, or in other cases, it would be like Marvin Moeller. Just little characteristics like that really draw people into wanting to lean on them because, oh, dentist, like perfect, because it really draws into the connection and a neurological point because that's the first thing that's going to come to mind. Just them remembering that syllable makes the whole difference. And same thing when it comes to a firefighter as well, believe it or not. Like when you think about firefighting, you think about smoke, ash, wood, stuff of that nature. So a lot of common names of firefighters would also be Asher, Kai, which is the Japanese name for fire. Or you could also find names such as Flint as well, like Flint and Steel, which do create fire. And other places such as celebrities and places. Places just like Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis in Egypt. You also have Kingston, New York City, and Kingston, Jamaica. A lot of names are common when it comes to like street signs, avenues, places that you've been. And when you also hear about certain stuff, you also hear like Myrtle Beach, Daytona Beach, a lot of Venice Beach. A lot of stuff really play into toll when it comes to either the last, the first, and in between as well. So a lot of places you can find a lot of different letters, a lot of different stuff. You can even find your names. You can even go into Apple Maps, type in Jennifer Avenue in so many places like Indiana, Florida, and even Wisconsin, and even celebrities, just as these two on the screen. On the left, we have Mike Tyson, and on the right, Tyson Fury. And even into more detail, there has been an interview where Tyson Fury actually admits that his mother decided to use Mike Tyson's last name for him because he was a very large baby at the time, and he knew that he was destined to be a boxer as well. So in that case, he actually did grow up to be a boxer. So it was really good coincidence. But there has been a lot of different areas where people have done that. Like for instance, Michael Jordan, the basketball player who played for the Chicago Bulls, also has somebody who, you believe it or not, is also famous and shares the his name as well, Michael B. Jordan, which you can see in a lot of films like Wakanda Forever, Creed 1, 2, and 3. Is a lot of, characteristics that go into it because whenever people think of Michael Jordan, there's always two names that come to mind. And when you think about Mike Tyson, that goes into play as well. But there's also another characteristic when it comes to Mike Tyson as well, because you can also think about Michael Strahan, which shares not only name similarities, but also physical, facial similarities as well. And it even also, as I was saying before, ties into you as well. So in my family, personally, I have two other siblings, my name being Marcus, my brother's name being Michael, my sister's name being Melissa. And with that, we wanted to share the you know, unity because one, it brings us closer together as a family because even my mother and father share the same, M. And with that, I also want to share into that tradition. I feel like we are more in unison. We flow together. There's stuff that, they can do that I can't, but I help them in those ways because of just not only our names, but also us as a family as well. And a lot of names have a lot of originality to them as well, leading back to stuff like, Jesus Christ, and as I was saying, mythology. Because within Jesus Christ, you can also find names just as like the Ten Commandments, you get Moses, you get Malcolm, you get Michael, you get so many biblical names that people see when, or believe in as they go to church and they just feel like they can really guide their children down the right path based off of those names. And the same thing goes with mythology as well, because some names have little terms that they play into certain characteristics, just like the name Marcus. The name Marcus also can be originally made into by the person or goddess who rules over the planet Mars, or what Mars was basically seen as, which was Apollo in that case. It relates into that as well. And you can also find it in Christianity as well. So just because your name is just what people call you, there's so much more that goes into your name. It's a part of your identity, it can be a part of somebody else's, and it can be a part of religion, a place, and it just is connected in all parts of your life. And with that, I conclude this by saying, what's with all this name calling? Because I know I'm glad to be named Marcus King. Oh, oh.